everyone. I recently got a video from a lady named Nikki who watches my channel, and we've been corresponding back and forth with emails. And she asked me if I had seen the resin yellowing video by Steve McDonald. So I watched it, and in that video he compared 5 different resins, one of them being art resin and one of them being the Diction resin. And in the video, of the 5 resins he used out in the UV light over 6 months, art resin did the worst. It really yellowed. Now I had done a video on it also, and I compared art resin to 4 other resins, none of the ones that he used in the video, in his video, and art resin actually came out the best. But I don't know, so I decided, gosh, I have to try this myself, because I've really been trying to find a resin that is least likely to yellow. And although I know resin you're not supposed to put out in direct sunlight, it would be nice if some could receive some indirect sunlight or be outside and not yellow, you know. So anyway, so I went ahead and the Diction is one of the ones that did the best on his. So I went ahead and I bought this, and I don't know if you can see, but it's blue. It's crazy. So anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and compare these two out in the UV light and see what happens. So I mixed them both for about 3 minutes, and I did them kind of fast, which you're not supposed to do, and there's a significant difference between the amount of bubbles in the art resin and in this. There are still little teeny bubbles, but not as much as the art resin. And so just so that I pour the same amount on top of this, and it still looks blue to me, I'll just fill it up to the line at the top and dump it over. And this, I'm reading the back of it, this has like a 40-minute work time, which is about the same as the art resin, but this supposedly cures in 4 hours. You can demold in 4 hours. So I don't know if I bought some kind of a special resin, or let me do this real quick and then. And also, just so you know, these are, this is a type of plexi or plastic that I'm pouring this on. Somebody had asked me the other day, they said they had some frames that instead of having glass in it, it was like a plastic or plexiglass, and had I ever done that? And I just did one. Okay, and this was the one I did last week. Someone had asked me, like I said, about the plastic, if you could do resin on plastic. I've got fingerprints all over it now, but yeah, it works fine on it. So the resin, I put some glass on there just to show you. The resin works fine on the plastic. Seems like it would hold up fine. So this is 1.5 hours. Oh, this is really thick. It's almost picking the cup up. And that's the Diction, and then this is the art resin. And this is starting to thicken up, but it's still a bit thin. Look at that. 1.5 hours. I'm just going to quickly show you what I did last year for the experiment. I used the 5 different resins. I put them on the glass and I hung them up outside in the direct sunlight for 3 months. And then I compared them. The one at the top is what was outside. The one in the middle was what was kept in the house. And then I have a control piece that I move along the bottom that was resin that was just poured to show you how clear it should look. And the first one is the countertop epoxy faux Rizzle UV Plus. The second one is the art resin, which looks wonderful next to the faux Rizzle. So I'm wondering if it really was yellowed, but next to the faux Rizzle countertop epoxy, it just didn't look yellow. The Clear Cast 7000 looks about the same as the art resin. I mean, to me, it doesn't really look yellowed. I guess maybe a little bit. And then the fourth one is the Total Boat resin, which you can definitely see has yellowed. And then the last one is also a countertop epoxy, and it's Black Label. And you can definitely see that that has yellowed. So I have no explanation for why it didn't look real yellow in this experiment, other than I was comparing it to the real yellow ones, which made it look clear. I don't know. So anyway, the whole reason that I started the experiment with the resin, the initial one that I did on those little rectangles with the gold frames, was I was going to redo this mermaid. If you look back on my videos, I had a mermaid here originally. The resin cracked up because I used some defective resin, and I redid it. And I wanted to make sure that whatever resin I used could be outside. And this is not in the direct sunlight, it's in the indirect sunlight and out in the Florida heat. So I wanted to make sure it would, I wanted to find the best resin. So that was why I initially did it. And so this has been out here for about 11 months now. And you can see that it has yellowed. And I just want to show you, it doesn't look too bad to me, but when you do put a newly poured one next to it, you can really see the difference. So anyway, and I know I got messaged after I had done that initial testing, well, you're not supposed to put resin out in the direct sunlight. Well, I know that, but I wanted to be able to put it outside in the indirect sunlight and hopefully preserve it, as long as I could. And in the defense of the other resins that yellow, I've used multiple resins from the beginning, and everything that I have in the house, nothing has yellowed. Nothing at all shows any signs of yellowing. So it's just what I have put outside. So, I mean, wouldn't that be wonderful if we could find a resin that you could actually hang in a window and have some sunlight going through the back of it. I mean, that's kind of the reason why we do glass on glass, because it looks so pretty and you can look at it from both sides. But anyway, so this is the reason for the initial experiment. I wanted to find out which resin was least likely to yellow. So anyway, that's that. I'm going to show you the experiment I just did after 1 month with the Diction Resin and the art resin, and you're not going to believe the difference. So I'm going out my side door, and immediately you see yellow resin. And from the side it looks real yellow, from the front not as much, but you can definitely see how clear the Diction Resin is. And this is exactly 1 month later. So I am definitely going to be switching my resin. On the right, again, is the art resin, and on the left is the Diction. This is what it looks like from the side, and I don't know, maybe the experiment I did that had the gold frames around it made it look clearer. I just don't know, but it certainly looks yellow here. Hey everyone. So now, I don't know, from here I can see the difference, but I don't know if you can see it on the screen there. So the art resin is definitely yellowed, and the Diction, I don't see any yellowing at all. And I'm just wondering if it has something to do with how it's tinted blue, because about a month ago I watched a video where this lady had yellow resin in the containers, and she mixed them and put a teeny drop of blue in it, and it turned it from yellow back to clear, which I thought was really interesting. But anyway, I'm going to link the video from Steve McDonald that shows all the different resins that he compared, but you can really see, especially when you set this down on the white counter, you can really see the difference. I'm going to pull the camera up a little closer and put it down. So you can really see the yellowing in that compared to this. I don't see any yellowing. And again, this is what was left in the cup. And I did end up repouring both of these, mixing them and repouring again, because in the video, if you notice toward the end, I think it was the Diction or one of the two was running off the side. And just to make it a fair comparison, I wanted to make sure the same amount of resin was left on each of the plastic squares there. So, and then you can see the yellowing in this and how clear it is there. There's some dirt or something got in it because I had them sitting upright to begin with. But anyway, oh, my camera's crooked. Oh, well, I guess I'm crooked too. So, so anyway, I'm definitely going to be changing my resins because that just looks wonderful compared to the art resin being out in the sun like that. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something because I sure did. Like I said, I'm going to link the video under description for Steve McDonald's video. And if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to be notified of future videos, or if you just like the channel, go ahead and subscribe. And I hope you all have a great day. Thanks for watching.